Essentially, since the 1970s, since Canada started to recognize the People's Republic of China as opposed to the ROC, Canada's had a bit of a blind spot when it comes to policy regarding its relationship with Taiwan.
This morning, I had the honor of introducing in the House of Commons legislation to strengthen Canada's relationship with Taiwan, the Canada-Taiwan Relations Framework Act. This is timely, much needed, and frankly, long overdue.
In my last video, we looked at Mr. Michael Cooper's new legislation which he hopes to pass through the House of Commons in Canada, which is Bill C-315, the Canada-Taiwan Relations Framework Act. And now, I just wanted to dive in a little bit more deeply, and I wanted to talk to you guys about more of the details of what this bill entails, a few of the key points that I want to bring up, and how this will actually affect the relationship between Taiwan and Canada. It's not like we're talking about a small nation here. Well, Taiwan is a small island, but in terms of its presence on the global stage, Taiwan is actually a very significant player.
Taiwan is Canada's 13th largest trading partner. It's our 5th largest trading partner in Asia, with $8 billion of bilateral trade annually. And most importantly, we share common values, including a commitment to pluralism, human rights, the rule of law, and democracy.
So I'll now go on to quickly show you the declaration of policy that this bill would enforce legally within Canada's diplomatic relations with Taiwan. This is a declaration of policy. It will be the policy of the Canadian government to preserve and promote close relations between the people of Canada and the people of Taiwan, including in respect of economic, cultural, and legal affairs.
The absence of recognition, the absence of diplomatic relations, the absence of any formal relationship has created challenges, and in terms of the interactions between Canada and Taiwan, both legal and pragmatic.
As Mr. Michael Cooper points out, Canada and Taiwan's relationship is already so close, and yet there is no legal binding document between these two nations. There is no official diplomatic policy. So how can you just have an informal relationship with one of your largest trading partners? It doesn't really seem to make sense. Let's check out the next point on this document. It is the policy of the Canadian government to conduct its foreign relations on the basis that peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region are in the political, security, and economic interests of Canada and are matters of international concern. So for me, this section seems quite obvious, but perhaps it is something that countries actually need to put down on paper. But you know, there are so many countries in this Indo-Pacific region that do rely so heavily on peace and stability in that region. So I guess Mr. Michael Cooper here is suggesting that closer relationship between Canada and Taiwan would help maintain that peace and stability.
This bill is in the mutual interests of both Taiwan and Canada. And from Canada's standpoint, it is important that there is certainty that has been entirely lacking.
This next section is similar, but I think it's a little bit more Taiwan specific, and it goes on to read that Canada will consider any effort to determine the future of Taiwan by other than peaceful means or by boycotts or embargoes to be a threat to the peace and security of the Indo-Pacific region and be of grave concern to Canada. So I actually really like this section because it's actually putting down into law the idea that if any other country were to threaten Taiwan or threaten the peace and stability of Taiwan, then Canada would have to legally determine this to be a threat to Canada and a threat to the Indo-Pacific region. This next section of the bill has to do with Taiwan's involvement in the international community, specifically international cooperation between nations. So the bill goes on to say that Canada will support the participation of Taiwan in multilateral internal organizations, including the WHO and the International Civil Aviation Organization.
It is important that Taiwan play a role and participate in multilateral organizations and forums, and specifically calls on Taiwan's participation in the World Health Organization as well as the International Civil Aviation Organization.
In my last video and in many other of my videos and other YouTubers' videos and in the news, we've all talked a lot about whether Taiwan should be allowed into the WHO, the World Health Organization, so I will leave that aside for now. But in this video, I just do want to quickly bring up the International Civil Aviation Organization. So this is an organization run by the UN, the United Nations, and this is an international organization that has to do with aviation safety. So the safety of airplanes and air routes and everything to do with aviation all around the world. Currently, Taiwan is not a member, and I really think this needs to change. Obviously, Michael Cooper thinks it needs to change as well.
Taiwan is home to the 11th busiest airport in the world at Taipei, so it is important that Taiwan be able to fully participate in those organizations.
And finally, I will draw your attention to the last piece of the puzzle here, which is that Canada would permit the Office of the Representative of the Government of Taiwan in Canada to be referred to as the Taiwan Representative Office.
Further, this bill would allow, quite appropriately, the renaming of the Office of the Representative of the Government of Taiwan in Canada from the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office to the Taiwan Representative Office, to reflect the true function of that office, which is to represent the government of Taiwan and the people of Taiwan in Canada, not just the capital city of Taipei.
Obviously, Michael Cooper made some great points there. Right now, it doesn't really make sense that the Office of Taiwan in Canada is actually called the Taipei Cultural and Economic Office. That office represents Taiwan, not just Taipei. I think this is a little bit similar to the situation involved in the Olympics, where the Taiwanese Olympic team has to go under the name of Chinese Taipei as opposed to Taiwan. So, you know, every incremental step we can make to further the cause of Taiwan actually being able to be called Taiwan internationally is a step in the right direction. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Bill C-315. If any of you were looking to get a few more details about the bill or know a little bit more fully what the bill entails, I think there's actually a lot more about this entire topic that we could discuss, and if you're interested, I could definitely do more videos about that in the future. But as for now, I'm getting hot. I've got to throw on my AC. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Run it back, pull up. I said pull up.